Hello and welcome back to another poll overview video. Today's poll is about the Ruinous powers and community consensus. There's 19 questions, so let's just dive right in. Question 1. Would you like to see the original proposed absorption and dampen prayers or an alternate approach to the protection prayers? So the absorb prayers, I believe, are just 100% damage reduction in the appropriate style, 40% PvP scenarios, but drains 10% of the mitigated damage. It's actually quite an interesting way of draining the prayer. And the dampen prayers reduce damage in the appropriate style by 90%, 36 in PvP scenarios, and it rounds the value down, so it's not full protection, but, you know, again, they're both interesting ways of doing it. Every prayer book, I feel like, needs a protection prayer, so whether it's one or the other, it's different to the original prayer book, so it'll be more interesting. We'll just see which one, you know, passes. Both of them quite interesting, in my opinion. Question 2 of the possible approaches to the protection prayers outlined in the updated blog. Would you prefer deflection or withstand prayers? So withstand reduces the damage by 100% in the appropriate style, 40% PvP, but reduces your defenses by 30%. Again, that's quite interesting. So you'd be good, you know, let's say taking range and melee damage and you're praying range, you know, you're more likely to take some melee damage because your defensive melee are lower. Again, quite interesting. Won't really matter if you're only taking one style of damage. Deflection reduces damage by 90%, 36 in PvP, but reflects 10% of the pre-mitigated damage back. So if you take 100 damage, you're praying, you only take 10, and you reflect 10 back. That's quite interesting again. Deflection, when it first came out in Runescape 2, that was quite fun in the Ancient Prayers. I don't know if people are looking for it now. I don't think people are too fond of the 9% prayer protection, just because you still take a lot of chip damage through it, but again, we'll just see what passes there. But again, interesting because they're different. Variety is the spice of life, after all. Question 3. Should we develop the Ancient Precision, Strength, Sight, and Will prayers? Now, these are some of the offensive prayers. Ancient Precision is 20% attack. Ancient Strength is 20% strength bonus. Ancient Sight is 20% ranged attack and ranged strength. That's actually quite good looking. The Ancient Will is 20% magic attack. Again, there always needs to be offensive prayers. They look to be a little bit strong. I don't know what level they're suggesting to release them at. A prayer level needed for it, but you know, I don't see any issue with small power creep when it comes to prayers. High level prayers should be stronger, in my opinion. Yeah. I believe they'll pass. Alright, that one there. Question 4: if added, should we combine the Ancient Precision and Ancient Strength? I don't think that's necessarily too necessary because we already have Ultimate Attack and Ultimate Strength as separate prayers. I don't see necessarily why they'll need to be combined, but I don't know, some people might want it. Question 5, should we develop the Trinitas prayer? This one's quite interesting because it's 50% attack, strength, range attack, range strength, and magic attack. I can't really see that getting any use, personally. Maybe in PvP when there's already a lot of inputs going through. You know, you're switching a lot of your gear out quite often, you're eating and whatnot, you're focusing on a lot of things. It might just be useful to be running in the background, but in PvE scenarios, I can't see people wanting to use this because it's lower bonuses than any other prayers. I don't know, that's definitely an interesting one. Some niche scenarios, I guess, where it'll be used. But yeah, see how that goes. Question 6, should we develop the Decimate, Annihilate, and Vaporize prayers? Decimate is 20% melee attack and 30% melee strength. That's quite strong looking, actually. Annihilate is 20% range attack, 30% range strength. Again, that with Twisted Bow is going to absolutely rip things apart. And Vaporize is 25% magic attack and 4% magic damage. Again, with the Tumikin's Shadow, that's going to be crazy strong. That is quite a lot of power creep, it looks like, but again, they're probably going to be quite high level prayers. I personally think it's okay within reason to have that kind of power creep, but I don't know, we get the community consensus about it, I guess. Question 7. These are going to be about overhead offensive prayers. These are actually quite interesting. So question 7, should we develop the Gambit prayer outlined in the blog? Gambit is 8% accuracy in all styles. That's an overhead prayer. I think overhead offensive prayers are actually a really good idea. 8% accuracy isn't a huge amount, but it's a nice bonus, especially combined with all the other prayer bonuses. I think that's actually quite neat. Rebuke is question 8. Should they develop Rebuke? Increase damage taken by 50%, but reflects 15% damage you take back. I mean, I don't know. I have no strong opinion on that one. I personally, during Slayer and whatnot, I can't see myself wanting to use that necessarily. I don't really want to be taking much damage. I imagine there'll be some bosses where that would be good, though. Especially if you use Vengeance, say on Zora or something. you can reflect quite a lot of damage back to her. Question 9, should we develop the Vindicate prayer? Vindicate is when reduced below 10% max HP, without taking lethal damage, heals for 15% of your prayer level, and you lose any remaining prayer points. For 6 seconds after Vindicate triggers, your next attacks will deal 10% damage on your next one attack. If it's one attack, If it's all your attacks for the next 6 seconds, that could be alright. Again, interesting. It's like Redemption, I believe it is. That's in the standard prayer book. I feel like everything, people use it a lot in niche scenarios. I feel like it'd be good prayer. A little bit of bonus on top, so it is different from the Redemption prayer. The extra damage, could come in clutch. I think it's quite interesting. Question 10, should we develop the Kuro's Vow prayer? Kuro's Vow is, while activated, you have 10% chance to deal 10% of the damage dealt with any combat style. So that's kind of like a weak soul split from RuneScape 2. You can think of it like a Guthan's effect. I don't believe it's an overhead or anything. I don't know, it's quite interesting. Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of hate it at the same time. Is there too much sustain in the game at the moment with the Lightbearer and the Saradomin Godsword, or even just a Blowpipe? Possibly. It is only a 10% chance, though. You could see on combat, on a Slay task, flicking this on and off just to get a little bit of extra healing. I don't know. That's something to keep an eye on. Definitely an interesting suggestion, though. Question 11, should Glacey's Vow prayer be added? Glacey's Vow, you have 20% chance to deal bonus magic damage. Okay, interesting. This bonus damage rolls off your equipment style. The damage dealt is 10% of your initial hit. Okay. Yeah, so that looks to be just a bit of a DPS boost. It's interesting how it says bonus magic damage. I'm assuming it works for all combat styles. Also chills your targets to the bone, shatters them with some reoccurrent damage. Nice little flavor text there. Okay, bonus damage, it could be too much. It could just be too much power creep for the game for most people. Again, that's just another one to keep an eye on. Umbra's Vow. It's question 12. While active, drain your opponent's defense by 20% of your damage dealt. Good against tanky opponents. I could see it being used against Grador, for example. Next, stuff like that, Corp Beast. You could just see more DPS coming through. A lot of these prayers look like it's just quite a large DPS boost, but again, they're probably going to be high-level prayers. Maybe we need something like that. A defense drain passively through the prayer book could be quite nice, quite fun. Question 13, should we develop Fumu's Vow? Fumu's Vow, attacks consume 10% of your poison severity to deal the same amount of damage as bonus poison damage to an enemy. This one's actually kind of confusing, as read through the blog. Basically, it just means if you're poisoned, you deal a bit of poison damage back to the enemy. Again, it's interesting. I don't see a lot of huge uses for it. There are certainly some bosses where you would use it, like Hydra, possibly Volkath, and Zolera. But at the same time, you don't really want to be poisoned, so I'm not quite sure how that'll work. If it does work through anti-poison, for example. I don't really know how the poison severity works, and I don't know. Again, that's just another one to keep an eye on. If it comes out working how they intend it to, it would just be some more damage, some more bonus damage. I feel like that one will clash with Glacey's Vow, which is just 20% bonus damage. Or a 20% chance to deal 10% bonus damage. I don't know. Again, it's just more damage on top of what we already have. It could be bad, could be good. Question 14, this next set of questions are about utility prayers, I believe. Question 14, should we develop the Ruinous Grace prayer? Ruinous Grace, while active, drain prayer points instead of run energy. I saw a lot of suggestions for the new prayer book, the Ruinous Powers. All of them had something similar, where you drain prayer instead of run. I think it's what people want. I think will be useful in certain case scenarios. Why not, right? It doesn't seem too intrusive. It seems just like a nice little utility when you're just running around the game. I'm sure it'll be useful in some bosses too. Question 15. Should we develop the Ruinous Smite prayer? Ruinous Smite is, while active, reduce both your and your opponent's prayer points by 33% of the damage dealt. It's pretty much just regular Smite, but, a bit stronger. Again, I don't think the prayer book would get released without something like this. Yeah, it's just neat. Question 16. Should we develop the Wrath prayer? Wrath, while active, deal damage equal to 25% of your prayer level in a 5x5 radius when you die. We already have something like this in the regular prayer book. Again, it's just a bit of extra flavor. 17, should we develop the Rejuvenation prayer? Rejuvenation is while active, you generate 1 hit point every 20 seconds. I actually like that one. It's a bit stronger than Rapid Heal. I think it's quite good. I actually like to use Rapid Heal whenever I can. I know it's definitely good when safe throwing Dagonoth Rex. It's just a little bit stronger. Again, nothing wrong with that. I think it's neat. Question 18. Should we develop the Metabolism Pret? This one's very interesting. Metabolism reduces the action delay by 0.6 seconds after eating. That could be very strong. You can eat just a little bit faster, more food back to back. I could see it being not exploited, but definitely quite strong in some case scenarios. I don't think it'll be overpowered necessarily. Just a little bit of extra spice to what we already have in the game. I don't know the prayer drain on that though. If it's a lot of prayer drain, it could be quite, quite a trade-off for it. It is strong, but if there's a lot of prayer drain, it has that side effect. Again, just something you need to keep an eye on. But I'm certainly interested in it. Question 19. Should we develop the Berserk prayer outlined in the blog? Berserk is while active, combat stat boost lasts 50% longer. It's quite nice. I like that. Overall thoughts on the blog? Actually, it's quite good. Again, it's another one that they obviously put thought into. They took a lot of community suggestions into account. They've just worked on it. I think it's great. I'm going to go vote on this. I suggest you all do too. It's always good to have your voice heard. Don't forget, you can always skip a question if you're not sure on it. That's a valid vote, as always. Well, I'm going to head off now. Thanks for listening, champions. Go vote. Till next time, take care.